In this video, we talk about part 2 of Identity on the Orville. This has spoilers, so be forewarned. Hello out there, I'm the oldest nerd, and Identity Part 2 is what we're talking about this time. And there was a great deal of speculation in our forum and elsewhere as to exactly how they were going to be able to resolve this situation. They weren't going to destroy the Orville. They weren't going to destroy the Earth. These things were probably to be guessed at. The other ideas, though, other than it being a simulation, turned out to be right. It didn't turn out to be a simulation, but did they bring the krill in? Yes. Did they have some kind of plot among the captured crew members? Yes. Did they use Yaphet and his unique abilities? Yes. Did they find that Isaac sacrificed himself in order to bring down the rest by betraying his own people? Yes. Perhaps not in the way specifically that some of us had predicted that would happen, but that essentially is it. They decided to throw everything against the wall and see what sticks. The things that bothered me on this episode were the crawl space. It seems like every time anybody gets trapped in some place, you can always remove an air conditioner vent and somebody can crawl through it. In reality, these things are either big enough for people to walk through or small enough to where nothing can get through it. You rarely see this middle-sized thing where, oh, there's only one crew member and one child that can get through here. It seemed a little bit contrived to me at the time. Otherwise, the action of making a scrambled signal seemed to be effective. However, it seems that it was too easy for them to be able to get off the shuttle deck. The Kalon obviously knew that they were there, would have suspected that they were going to try something, and might have had more than two guards who happened to be looking the other way when they boarded a shuttle. I mean, they could have shut that thing down before they even got close to a shuttle to get out. So those are kind of holes in the plot there. Obviously necessary, or else they wouldn't have been able to do much of anything. But for the most part, the other holes they seem to cover pretty well, with the Kalon staying pretty much ahead of them in most every other aspect. And we do see a red shirt sacrificed. We do see that while Isaac may have been complacent with their plans from the very beginning, he does appear to have a change of heart in the same way, say, that Darth Vader did in the Return of the Jedi. He's evil up to the point to where he's on the edge of death and realizes that there are things more important than the Empire. And in this case, it seems that Isaac, upon seeing what can happen to the children who he's developed an affinity for, has decided to sacrifice himself. But of course, he doesn't have to sacrifice himself, because Yaphet, in almost dying himself, finds out where their vulnerabilities are and knows how to reactivate Isaac. So all is well in that. Now, I had a few problems in our local transmission, and there were parts of it that were garbled, especially a lot of the explanatory parts. So I've missed some things in here, exactly how it was that Isaac sacrificed himself and how it affected all the others. It sounded to me somewhat like the sleep mode in the Borg. They put everybody to sleep or deactivated everybody. It seemed to be kind of the same thing. So this was their Borg episode, and this is the way they dealt with it, by working together with the krill, and the krill believe that it's the will of Avis in order for this to have come about. And so we see a détente begin with a krill, and that's an interesting thing. We've gone beyond we see a krill and we shoot at it. We see a krill and we try to infiltrate them. Now they're going to have perhaps an uneasy, but an alliance nonetheless. Perhaps that Mercer was convincing enough that Isaac should stay with the Orville, despite the fact that the Union Council is going to have to make a ruling on this. However, I don't know, personal recognizance can be enough in the real world for something like this. This would seem that he would be kept in captivity, or at least in some more controlled environment than a starship, but we'll let them get away with this particular conceit, if you will. So what did you think? There are some people who were saying in the forums that it would not be acceptable if Isaac suddenly has a change of heart. There would have to be something else. There would have to be some kind of trick. There would have to be some kind of defeat, perhaps even Isaac's own deactivation and elimination as a character in order to make this realistic and acceptable. But for me, I find it, although it had some holes in it, I think I knew what they were trying to do, and I can give them a pass for that. What about you? Are you willing to give them a pass for this and continue on, or do you say this tears it? Or what do you think? I'd like to know. Put it down in the comments, and we will read them and interact with you. So we will have a review probably tomorrow on Discovery's episode for this week, but until then, don't go far.